Mic check 1 2. Okay, everyone, we are live. Welcome back to another Friday night forging live stream. In this video tonight, in this live stream that we're doing, we're going to be making a copper leaf bowl. More specifically, we're going to be making a maple leaf bowl. Go ahead and go to camera 2, Jessica. We're going to be working on this little beauty right here. Hopefully they can see that just fine. Yep. And so we're going to be doing some veining. We're going to do some layering in the bowl, and then we will actually shape the bowl out this evening. Hopefully we will get there that far. I've got a whole nother one of these to make for a client of ours, some good friends of ours. That ordered way too long ago, several months ago. So anyways, so we'll be working on this tonight, and we will also be taking and giving away, go back to the main cam, this way I can show it. We're gonna be giving away, not tonight, but we're gonna be letting you know how you can get in on this scissor SWAGE that Uncle Buck has donated to us. He is the primary sponsor of tonight's stream, and we thank you, sir, for blessing us with one of these, so this way we can bless somebody else out there, one lucky contestant, on The Price is Right. Nope, that's copyright. We don't want to do that. This is not The Price is Right. This is The Price is Wrong. The price is wrong because it's completely free. Anyways, so thank you, Uncle Buck's Forge, for donating this to us. That will come with an extra blank set of dies, and then it has these pipe SWAGEs right here already in. I forget what they're down to, and I'll have a video on how to set these up as well. The only thing that you'll have to do is dress them to your liking and weld on whatever size hardy shank you have when you get that. But this contest will be open to international residents as well as the ones in the United States. Check your local stuff, legalities and all that other stuff. If you care to. But anyways, so that's one of the things that we'll be talking about this evening. And I guess we can get right into that for the people who don't want to stick around for the rest of this deal. The way that you're going to get entered to win that is it's going to be like we've done in the past, just because it's simplest for us to do, is you'll go over to our website. The link for that will be down in the description down below, blacksmithpdfs.com. And you will either purchase or get a free, check out a free plan, download, digital download. I'm losing my brain here, ladies and gents. It's been a busy day. Sorry, you'll have to forgive me. Jessica, you can correct me on any of this. But anyways, so you'll go get a free digital download. You'll go get a free or a paid, either or, doesn't matter, and that gets you entered to win. That way we have your contact information on hand, and it really helps us, kind of narrow that down to who wants to get one of these things. Also, we have a lot of great new merch over there at the store. Jessica's worked on some pendants. We have those over. We do have sticker packs available over at the store as well as we have a current, what do you call it? Ebook sale, there we go. We have a current ebook sale where you can use a coupon code of FALL20 and you can get 20% off of any sort of ebook or ebook bundle that we have over there at blacksmithpdfs.com. So anyways, so go check that out. It's a great way. Not only can you support us by having that traffic run over there to our website, that's a great way of doing that, whether you get a free thing or not. Or if you get a paid download, it really does help us out and support us both those ways. Yeah, and we greatly appreciate it. So if you'd like to share this stream around, that's also a great way of supporting what we do here. And, comment, like, that whole jazz. We really appreciate you, and thank you guys so much for being here. So who we got in the stream, Jessica?
All right, first off, I wanted to say thank you to James at County Line Forge for the $10 super chat. And he says, first, haha, hey Roy and Jess, hope you're having a wonderful evening. Thank you very much, James.
Thank you, James, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $10 super chat. We are having a wonderful evening. It snowed today. So you know what that means. Ho, 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 ho. I am having a wonderful day. I started this I started the morning off with a really good mood just because I'm the type of guy, I love Christmas and it's upon us. And we got about 1.5 inches of snow up here and we're supposed to expect some more tonight. So I'm super stoked. I love winter. I love being able to see my breath in the morning and in the evening and all day. So yeah, it's the kind of guy I am. Loving it.
And a couple more hellos. Josh Smith, Overall Forging, Mountain Critter Creations, Nick and Rachel. Hans, Charming Hollow Forge, was just dropping by for a moment. He has to go on taking Amy out to dinner, so we hope you have a great dinner. Stefan, Metalman, Loof, Dina. It's good to have everybody in there. We've got quite a few comments so far, so I won't be able to read off everybody, but we are thankful that you guys are all here.
Yeah, thank you all so much for being here, and make sure to share the stream around. We will also be doing door prizes tonight. I didn't say that, as has been our regular, which we like to do. By the way, we have a few people have not sent us their addresses, which is kind of problematic to give them a sticker bundle if, you know, they don't contact you with their addresses. So one of those people, I don't know if we mention it by names or... Was that okay? Mark Evans, if you're in the stream tonight in the chat, we do have a sticker bundle. I'm using it as an example tonight of what sticker bundles look like. Jessica, we can go down to the anvil real quick. Give her a second to get there. Okay, so that's what the sticker bundle packs look like. They're all a little bit different, but you know, they're free. Again, thank you to Dana Maggiore for helping us out with these. That way we can take and do that sort of thing. But these are become kind of our reoccurring door prize, and we just are appreciative that we can give those away. We can go back to the main screen, Jess. And so anyway, so yes, there will be some door prizes, and then that's just a participation trophy. All you have to be here is participating in the chat down below, and all we'll be doing is scrolling at random to find somebody in the chat to take and give away a sticker bundle to. So, and all you gotta do is give us your contact info and stuff.
Great question, Stefan. He asked, can you buy anything or just PDFs? Yes, you can buy anything at all on our website. You can buy a keychain, you can buy a sticker, whatever you want. And that would enter you into the giveaway as long as you do so by November 14th. That's the cutoff day, which is the day before the next live stream. And but the sale for 20% off, the coupon code is down below, fall20, and that is only on the ebooks.
There you go. The words of the wise woman over there. Man, guys, I tell you what, I don't know what I'd do if Jess wasn't around. I'd lose my head or something. So anyways, that's enough of that, enough yammering on. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let's get right into this project, shall we? Okay, hopefully you're at the anvil. Yes. Okay, so what we have here is a piece of 1/8 inch or 10 gauge, roughly right along that. I don't know it's for sure what it is. It's right around 1/8 inch or 10 gauge. It's right in between. Copper. This is just regular copper, and what I've done here is I've actually sawed this out as a pattern. And believe it or not, over at Blacksmith PDFs, there's a template there. There's a whole template bundle that you can get that has templates just like this. So if you've already purchased one of those bundles that had this in it, there you go. You're already ahead of the game. With that being said, you can cut out any size shape that you'd like of this type of template, and it's just, you know, a maple leaf. What I'm going to be focusing on is showing you how to give this flat dimension here, this flat plane. Instead of just doing simple chiseled lines, we're going to give it some height and some differences in, you know, depth, if you will. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to be using a butcher tool. A butcher tool is simply a tool with a leading edge. Hopefully you guys can see that just fine. Let me step out of my own light there. It has a leading edge of some kind, and what that does is it pushes the background away from something in one direction, and I'll illustrate that right here. It's going to push the background that way away from this here, and what that will simulate is you'll have a hard line here that's contrast with a soft line here that will give the impression of an overlap, like the leaf has folded over on itself. And it won't be as apparent at first until we start dishing this bowl. Once we dish this bowl, that overlap will start to show up. You know, we're kind of telling it where to go. So the first things first, we're going to give this leaf some overlap. We're going to start there, and we're just using a butcher tool. If you don't have, you know, if you can get your hands on just say, hold on a second, like a regular cold chisel, you can reshape this into a butcher tool. So basically you would just grind that off flat and give it one-sided bevels. So you would grind it off flat across here and then grind on a one-sided bevel. And then you could use a commercially bought cold chisel to make yourself a butcher out of. Really simple. You don't have to do a lot of forging. Heck, you can even use factory bought stuff as long as you don't wreck the temper in it. So I'm going to start with my back leaf section here. I'm going to use a little bit bigger of a hammer just to get it going. And then I'll come back in and refine this shape with a lighter hammer. Hopefully you guys can see how that's starting to take place. It's starting to give it that bit of an overlapping look. So I'll do that on my next one as well. Also, I should mention that because this butcher tool is a little wide to make this curve, I'm also rocking it up on end a little bit, so not the whole piece is in contact. And so I'm just kind of scissoring it through the piece like so. We'll rock it up on end. Hopefully you guys can see this somewhat decently. So I'm pivoting kind of on the corner of the chisel, if you will, and advancing it ever so.
Question for you, has that plate been annealed yet?
No, it has not. That's a great question. This is like very hard right now, which is fine because I don't really want this to be bucking around a whole lot. I want it to keep most of its form. You know, I don't want it to taco up like you might see them do. I don't want it to do that. I want to take and apply the form in here before I anneal it. Now, I will anneal this before we sink it, and it will go, you know, we'll sink it into our bowl swedge, and then, you know, after it's been annealed. But I want to do all this type work cold while there's no scale that I have to contend with, and while it's still rough and hard. If this was annealed, it will push a lot more, and this will start bowl shaping or concaving up on you, and you're going to have this rocking piece. We'll still get some of that tonight, but it'll be far less than what it would have been had we annealed it prior. So leaving it hard will help it keep its flat shape, its flat orientation, and that's what we want right now.
Welcome, Uncle Buck's Forge. Good to have you here this evening. We did a brief announcement at the beginning of the live stream about the giveaway, and I'm sure we'll touch on that again somewhere during the stream. And Rigid Ironworks says, did you say 1/8 inch material?
Yes, that's correct. Hello, Uncle Buck. Thank you, sir, for providing an awesome scissor swedge. We appreciate that, sir. We appreciate you. And everybody give Uncle Buck a hand clap and thank him for, you know, providing stuff like that, great tooling at a reasonable cost to people. If you haven't checked him out, I believe if you don't win this thing, he has quite a few of these scissor swedges available as well. So, you know, if you don't happen to win it, but you want one of those scissor swedges, you know, go see Uncle Buck, and he'll get you taken care of as well. So hopefully you guys can see that right there. Looking good. We're coming right along. And again, I will come back through here. I will come back through here and clean each one of these up with a little bit smaller butcher tool to get in here to the radius it a little bit better and make them less choppy. Yes, go ahead.
Paul Perrin, thank you for joining us. Hope you are having a wonderful Friday as well. Curtis, welcome. Glad you made it. And Newth Leather and Metalsmithy, glad to have you too, bud. Bob, good evening. Yama says, oh, the scissor gate Fuller. I love that thing. And the Wonder Boy 420, I made chili for dinner tonight here in northern Indiana. That sounds like a good thing to eat, especially if it's cool there in Indiana also. Excuse me. Or Blade says he's sitting in a deer stand watching Roy work. LOL. Well, if you're hunting, I hope you have success.
I'm better than any old deer stand anyhow, so you've come to the right place. Oh, all right, so we've got that done. Jessica was busy reading comments, so I didn't mention what I was doing here. So part of giving this leaf more dimension, I switched tactics. So here I had all of the foliage kind of coming away from this, the overlaps. And then on these final little bits here, I switched it around to where now the foliage is running back away there, just to give it a little bit different dimension, some different dimensionality there. But now we're all set up with those lines there. I'm going to put the larger butcher away, and I'm going to come back in with a much smaller butcher tool and a smaller hammer as well. And I'm going to come in there and clean up all of these little lines. And so I don't know if you guys can see that smoothed that up. I'm trying to tell. I can't tell here on the camera.
Yeah, when you tilt it back and forth, it makes it a bit visible.
Probably is not helping. All the light refracting. So anyways, it's smoothing up the lines a little bit as we go along here. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm planishing out any of those chop marks left by the big chisel, by the big butcher, so this way it's cleaner. Okay. So if you guys will notice, so we've got all those smoothed up. We've got the rest of these to do, and then we can move on to the next process, which is doing all the veins, doing all the little veining here. Just trying to smooth it up here. All right, I've got those lines nice and smoothed up. Got all these done, these last little bits here, and we'll be good to go. Jessica, more comments.
Sorry about that. I was just making sure the computer was doing what it ought to and had to get it plugged in so we didn't lose power on everybody. Monkey with the hammer, good evening. Glad to have you. Let's see, who else do we have here? JK Canvas, good to have you too. We actually just posted I think Roy put a picture of this on Instagram also, where we're showing off all of his stickers that he put on the cabinet. So thank you very much for all the cool merch that you gave us when we seen you at the Good of the Land Fest. Wonderboy420, what do we do with these live stream projects after we are done with them? It kind of depends on what the project is. This one is actually for a customer slash friend. So he has 2 of these to make. And you know, a couple live streams back, he had made me a hammer. So just depends on what the project is, really.
Yep, very much so. So, are you still down on this one down here? Okay, cool. Yeah, so it just kind of depends on what the project is. Most of the live stream stuff that I make, that just kind of gets sat on a shelf, or a lot of it does. Some of the stuff that I've made, like the Nordic door knocker and things like that, that actually goes into our Etsy store. And then there's a few times where we make stuff and, you know, they're future giveaways and other streams. But this one happens to be a customer's order. So that's what we're using this one for. So, all right, real quick, we have a 16th inch radius fuller. Hopefully you all can see that there. We have a 16th inch radius fuller. Can they see that all right, Jessica? Okay, that is what we're going to take and strike in our center vein with. It's about 3/4 of an inch wide here, 3/4 to just right around a 1/2 inch wide. We're going to use that to strike in our middle vein. And then after that, we're going to change up this whole deal and see if I can find it. I probably just dropped it, didn't I? It's hidden here somewhere. There it is. Okay. Then we're going to switch up to a much thinner. That's like a 32nd of an inch across. I don't know if you all can see that or not. Again, it's going to be kind of difficult to see. It's almost like a chisel, but it's kind of dull. It's blunted on the end. That is what we're going to put in all these little capillary veins into the piece with. So again, we're trying to create depth and dimension to this. We're going to use the bigger fuller on the larger veins, and then we will be using the smaller fuller here in all the little capillary vein work. Also, I'll mention, not all of this needs to actually make it back to here. It's okay if you leave gaps in between the vein here and here, because it'll look a little more natural and a little bit more flowing, because you don't have to connect the dots for folks. People can use their own imagination, kind of the brain, the way that it sees it, it fills in the blanks. So you don't have to bring this all the way back, because this will give the illusion, when you come back to this point, it will give the illusion that this has flown from the center somehow of this piece. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create the illusion of realism. So I'm going to switch up hammers here. I'm going to go back to my larger hammer, and we're going to start at the tip of the leaf, get on our line, and we're going to strike out a mark. Again, this doesn't have to be super deep or anything. It just has to be consistent. Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you guys give me a heads up if you are seeing the stream clearly here. YouTube gave me a little notification that it's not quite getting, well, now it says excellent. So just let me know down in the comments below. Ouroboros Armory, Caitlin, good to have you this evening. Let's see here. Aimless Adventure says capillaries and veins feel like I'm in Anatomy 101 again. Let's see. Steve, Uncle Buck's Forge, I hope you have a good dinner, and if you get a chance, drop back in again. Ouroboros Armory says grading papers and watching a live stream. Lots of people this evening are multitasking. Somebody's hunting and all kinds of things going on. Lots of people eating dinner. Blades Out Now says, I just got some coil spring to make some tools. What is the most common used tool that I can make with a coil spring? And thank you for the stickers. I got them and they look great.
Awesome. So the most common tool you can make with a coil spring is like a slitting chisel. If it's a big enough one, you can make cold chisels out of them. You know, basically think of punches, chisels, things like that. All of my chasing tools here that you're seeing were made and forged from coil spring. I would recommend you do that with it. But other than that, I mean, it's kind of sky's the limit. It's really up to you. Whatever you can use your imagination for. But mostly punches and chisels and things like that. If you're into blade work, you can do that, certainly. Out of coil spring as well. So we're moving right along here. Hopefully you guys can see that decently. See all the difference. It's kind of hard to fit in the frame. So hopefully you guys can see that all right. So we've got our thicker center veins run in here. We've got that. You can see that's a little bit choppy. I'll come back through there and clean that up. Again, we got a center vein there. And I'm just adding the larger capillary tubes here. The capillary veins. Larger veins, if you will, before we add the capillary stuff.
Stefan asked, would it be possible to process that leaf through 2 rollers or cylinders / drums, like a press, and add more texture or a natural pattern on the copper?
Yep, like a rolling mill. Yes, you most definitely can do that. It's entirely possible. You're going to need something pretty stout, though, as it being 1/8 inch. You know, this here being 1/8 inch plate or 10 gauge material, you're going to have quite a bit of force. But yeah, it most certainly can be done.
Rob Ho asks, curious, how often do you need to anneal the copper?
So for this particular piece, you don't actually have to anneal it that often. When you're forging copper, usually when it's time to anneal is when you can, it sounds like a, when it sounds like a bell. You know, you can hear that loud ding noise out of it. That's when it's hardened up sufficiently, and that means it's time to go ahead and anneal it. As I stated at the beginning of the stream, I'm leaving it hardened right now, so this way, if you see how it's kind of got a dome to it, because we're working from the front side, we don't want to have this rocking all over the place. If this was annealed, whenever you shove something here on the surface and you actually forge this piece, it was going to take and forge itself out here. It would form basically from that kinetic energy. It wants to go the path of least resistance. And so you would end up with a taco. It'd start tacoing up in areas that you don't want. And then you would have a bowl before you're done working on all these edges and stuff. So that's what we don't want to have happen. So therefore we left it hardened so this way we could chase in all the details. Then we will anneal it before we forge it. Well, basically we'll heat it up good and hot and then quench it, which is annealing the copper, and that will afford us to forge it into a bowl form after that.
Yeah, Yamez, we got about 1.5 inches of snow, so it was our first snowfall here in Michigan, so we were excited about that. Aimless Adventure says if you crumple it up and pull it back flat, it would have a good crinkle effect. That would probably work good on thin metal. 1/8 inch copper, I don't think you're going to be able to crinkle it very easily.
Yep, if you did that on 1/8 inch material, you just end up with cracking. Wherever you crumpled it, the grain would change direction on you, and when it changed direction on you, then it would just it would stay in that direction, and then as soon as you go to mess with it again, you would get a crack wherever you had crinkled it. So thin metal, you can do that. Thicker stuff, not such a great idea.
Thomas Doubting Watchtower asks, how will the leaf be displayed once it's finished?
So these are actually going to be soup spoon dishes. So these are like serving spoon dishes for a serving spoon to sit in. So it'll be displayed flat on a countertop. So this bowl is going to get shaped this way, but it will also get shaped down as well. So it'll look like a leaf. You know, so it'll have a lot of flowing dimension, hopefully, when it's all said and done. Copper is one of those weird things that you never know. It could have had an impurity in it somewhere while you're messing with it, and all of a sudden, you know, it split apart on you or something like that. Copper can be kind of trying. For the most part, it's pretty reliable, you know, as long as you don't go too far with it and over harden it or something like that. You know, you'll be all right for the most part. It's pretty forgiving. But then again, it can also be very unforgiving. There's two sides to that same coin. So now we're going to work on the little small capillary portions.
Billy Martin, Champ Ironworks, good evening. And there's a question about the patina from Rolling Acres Forge. It says, hey Roy, are you planning on doing any type of patina work on the leaf?
So I will probably most likely give it like an aged patina, and then it won't be like green or anything, but it'll be a mix of like a forge scale / aged patina. So if you noticed, I was using the corner of the chisel and trying to work around those curves there. Hopefully they can see that right in there to create those things. And now you can see the differences between that thick line into those thins. It really gives it that dimension, you know, and that's what we need. Right now it's all shiny, and so it kind of all seems the same, all seems alike, but once it gets colored, you know, and things like that, it's really gonna pop. Like as soon as this gets forged to shape and all that, it's really going to come out and come into its own then.
Metal Man asked how you cut the leaf out.
So I cut most of the form with a Beverly shear. That was the outline, got it close, and then I sawed out the rest with a bandsaw. So it went Beverly shear, then bandsaw. Right.
Ouroboros Armory asks how you do your aging. She says she uses salt and lemon to green the copper, but she has not aged it before.
Great question. So it kind of just depends on what I'm going for. We go up to main camera real quick, Jess. I take a break and stand up straight for a second. So it kind of depends on what I am looking for in the piece. So if I'm trying to get back to just this aged copper look, that you see here. You can do that with a really, really light heat and a little bit of boiled linseed oil. So you can just a very light heat just to start turning color, just barely turning color on it, and a little bit of linseed oil just wiped, you know, briefly on the surface, and you can get back to this kind of this aged copper look that it is right now. You can take that darker and darker by adding more and more, but eventually it just kind of gums up on the surface. So there's only so far you can go with that. If you're trying to go for a really aged up look, a great way of doing that is leaving the oxides, the surface oxides, like the forging scale on it, and then misting it with like a white vinegar and leaving it outside and things like that. And then you can kind of play around with the patinas as they develop. All patinas, if you're doing any sort of patinas, Jessica and I, we have a book on patina or patination, I guess you would call it, and it has a bunch of different chemical recipes and things like that. The problem that you run into with books like that is that they were mainly made for jewelers, so they're doing sample sizes that are, you know, 1 by 1 at maximum, and so that doesn't really translate out to large pieces like this. So, you know, I've heard everything from people using ammonia and salt, different types of things like that to turn it green. One real quick way to get a super quick patina, like a brown look on these leaves, is to use gun blue or brass black. It's made by Birchwood Casey. You can look that up anywhere online, and that's a quick way to get a patina, but you have to have it very clean and you need to have it slightly warm. So it needs to be slightly warmer than body temp when you apply it. So it needs to be about 100 degrees or so, and you apply it on there, and you can go real brown real quick with that. And if you apply some successive coats and you just let it sit without neutralizing it in baking soda, you can get a really beautiful green patina as well. So it really depends on what you're going for as far as aged. I like the Birchwood Casey's plum brown for doing this. Again, hashtag not a sponsor here, but I like using that for getting a bronzish kind of look. And a lot of your patinas will matter on how high of a finish you brought that surface to. Usually matte finishes patina faster than polished finishes, so keep that in mind. But polished surfaces, when they patina, they're very gorgeous. They kind of have that depth. They kind of have that depth when you look into them, and so they can be real pretty if you do them that way. But that, hopefully that'll answer your question. I may do a video at some point on some different patinas, but that's one of those hard videos to shoot because it might take 2-3 weeks to actually come up with the results. You know, you can't just do it in a day. you can spritz it on there, or you can do whatever, show how to apply it, but then it takes like, you know, some of them can take 2-3 weeks, some of them can take up to 6 months to develop the type of patina you're looking for, depending on how forceful you're going with it. Great question. Let's go back here and I'll answer more questions.
Drayson's Forge said a video suggestion popped up on me about aging copper. It recommended heat and peanut oil. What are your thoughts on that one, Roy?
Heat and peanut oil is going to be the same as, like I said, with boiled linseed oil. It's just a warm oiled finish. So it'll give you the same effect. I've done both. I've done the peanut oil and it gives you the same effect. There you go, we're coming along.
Caitlin, I don't have a link to the book right off the bat. I believe the name of it was Patination, Bronzing, and Coloration of Metals, if I'm not mistaken. But I can always look it up later. You can remind us if we don't get around to it.
I didn't hear.
It is okay, I answered it.
Okay. Go ahead, more comments.
All right. Champ Ironworks asked if you worry about using peanut oil for fair items due to allergies.
So if you're going to be using any sort of oil, no matter what it is, there's always a risk of somebody having an allergy to it, whether it's peanut oil, canola oil. There's people who are allergic to just about their own shadow, even nowadays. So, and I don't say that to be rude. I'm just saying that it's true. There's more and more allergies being discovered that don't agree with people all the time. So when it comes to, say, a trade show, a craft fair, something like that, and you have more natural finishes, you need to make people aware of what they're finished with. So just putting a little simple note card that, my items have been coated in peanut oil. If you have peanut allergies, be aware. Something like that. That's just kind of a good measure to take and put that on your booth if you're concerned about that. Whenever I did craft shows and things like that, I really didn't worry about it. At that time, if I did any natural finishes, it was with vegetable oil. So, and as far as I know, again, that can make somebody sick as well. There can be an allergy to that. I don't know, but that was what was probably the safest as well. When I made cast irons, when I made forged skillets, I used to coat them in coconut oil instead. And again, there's people who are allergic to coconut. So it just needs to be clearly outlined and described for people. So this way they can do their own best judgment calls on that, whether they want to pick up and handle your things. They have to be responsible for them. You can't really be responsible for them. But if you want to take and be good looking out for yourself and you're selling some sort of ironwork and you're out in the public general populace, any sort of little notices like that would be a good idea to put on your table as a descriptor.
Champ says alternatively you can use canola oil, which is synthetic, like a synthetic vegetable oil. And he also points out that peanut, bee, and shellfish are the big ones that have anaphylactic concerns.
That is good information to know. Thank you, Champ, for putting that down there. Letting everybody know that in the community.
Rolling Acres says, thank you for all of the useful information on copper patina. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Rolling Acres. I'm glad you appreciate it.
Archangel Craftworks says, I believe ferric chloride turns copper brown, then you could polish it back.
That's cool. Ferric chloride.
Randy from Newt's Leather says, Roy is tapping like I do when I'm working leather.
Probably a similar process to bossing leather.
Foretic says, copper can dissolve under flame if it is possible to get it too hot, looking for an orange glow coming off, then it's ready to quench.
Say that again.
He was just talking about how hot something when you quench it, like a orange.
So I'm holding my knee up here real quick. I'm holding my knee up here so it's kind of bouncing against my knee a bit. I could take the time to secure this down, but the way the camera's situated, if I would have put my hold down tool in here, you wouldn't have been able to see any of the work that's going on. So hopefully you're seeing some of the work that's going on here, and I'm able to keep my hands somewhat out of the way. But the main purpose for having my knee up like this is to help retard some of the sound. So I'm just trying to, hold it to my knee a little bit to keep down on the tinking noise too much.
Paul Fontanini asked, do you have a good way to make copper red? I have heard of using borax, but have had no success. We did get a tip from Kristen Kiefer at one of SOFA Blacksmithing Club, and she had said to quench copper in very hot water. Now, we haven't tried that ourselves yet, so I don't know if that's true, but also if you take copper up to just before melting point, it does turn red.
It also has to do with the environment. So if your quench tank has a lot of iron in it, you'll be a lot better off to get that red color that I have found with my own quenching. So, real quick, I'll just let you know, we can go up to main cam. So you have to remember that patina is just oxidization. So it matters quite a bit what type of atmosphere you are in. We are not all under the same type of atmosphere. Depending on where you're at will affect it. If you're in a nice clean environment, it's going to affect it. If you quench it in something that's dirty and it had some oils in it and greases, you might get some different results than if you quenched it in distilled water or something that was kept very clean. Likewise, if you quench it in, say, vinegar versus quench something in just plain water or motor oil, you're gonna have different chemicals interacting with a surface that is hot, that's potentially hot, that is then oxidizing. Same thing with any of the forced patinas on copper or any material, you're just dealing with oxidization. So you have to keep in mind that your individual results will vary quite a bit. So there's not like this one size fits all method. It can get you close, but you'll have to tweak it and refine it. The best thing I can say is before you do it on a project, get a piece roughly the size of the piece that you're going to be working on. Like in this case, I believe this is like 7 inches or so, 7 inches square. So get you a 7-inch square piece and test your patina ideal or theory out on it long before you go to making your project and then finding out that it's just not going to work for you. Because in what I might do in my shop, again, I've got very iron-rich water. So a lot of my copper, as soon as I dunk it, it comes out red. And what color temperature I dunk that at, it varies. Usually it's at a bright orange heat. Dunk it and it comes out red, but then sometimes it has black blotches. And again, it's not necessarily a repeatable result, but it's very common, right? Like it's a very common result that I get from doing it that way. But that's in my shop. I've tried that trick before, going to somebody else's shop. Or up at SOFA at the club shop, and their water's completely different. They have different pH levels and things like that, and you go, whoosh, put it in, and it came out completely different. Couldn't get a red to save my life. So again, it kind of varies because it is a surface oxidization. So something to keep in mind when you're doing chemical patinas of any kind and or natural patinas, they're going to be subject to where you're at in your location. As we do not all work in a sterile environment, getting repeatable results may not happen. So a good thing to point out there is if you're selling stuff like this, to take and put in the listing that the color will vary somewhat, or the product will vary from the picture somewhat because each piece is individual, and and every patina is a bit different, because if you quench something in the winter, it will be different than in the summer. A lot of times it will. It might have a heavier or a less patina, or you might have to quench it 2 or 3 times. Heck, I had one bowl that I was trying to replicate a patina that a customer was really adamant that they wanted this certain patina, and I think I quenched that bowl to try to get them reds, blacks, and oranges that I was trying to get for 50 times and still didn't come close. So I just had to throw in the towel and go with whatever, with the one that looked the closest. I just kept trying until it looked kind of close, and that was it. And they were floored with it, and so maybe I didn't need to quench it 50 different times, but I was not in any of those times was I able to replicate exactly the patina that was in the photo that they were after. So something to keep in mind if you're selling it.
We are coming up on 6 o'clock, an hour into the live stream, and I just want to recap on the giveaway. Oh, Roy, do you have something to add? Okay, you're good. All right.
Nope.
Okay, I was just checking. He looked like he wanted to say something there for a second. Yes, so for those who are coming in, we are having a giveaway next live stream, which will be in 2 weeks from today. If you want to save the link so you can set up notifications or whatnots, the link is down in the description below, and you can do that. Also, to get entered into the giveaway for this time, and by the way, the giveaway is a scissor swedge that was given to us by Uncle Buck's Forge, and you can go down in the description to read everything I'm saying also. So you go to our website, blacksmithpdfs.com, and you can do a free download, or you can do a paid download, or you can do a purchase of any sort between now and November 14th, and that will get you entered to win for the scissor tool.
Main cam?
No.
Yeah, so to just copy Jessica on that, the swedge that we'll be giving away is a scissor swedge. Now, people have been calling these a gate fuller. I have never heard it called in the years that I've been doing this a gate fuller. So if you know that if you see this as a gate fuller, go ahead. I'm always going to call it a scissor swedge because when I started 13 years ago, that's what it was, a scissor swedge. So very, very similar. Basically, this is a really good swedge. I'll have a video coming out here soon. This is really good for necking down pipe. That's kind of the main purpose behind a scissor swedge. It's going to be really, really good at necking down pipe for you, for doing things like bamboo, you know, candlestick holders, different things like that. It's going to be very good for that. Also, if you ever follow Bill Epps, any of his stuff, I believe he uses a scissor swedge as well to define certain animal heads, like the shouldering behind the head. He'll use a scissor swedge on that. These are kind of a bit of a precursor before like the actual like guillotine tools that we know nowadays. This was kind of a bit of a simpler precursor to that to begin with. Again, we'll be giving away Uncle Buck's Forge provided one of these to give away. All you'll need to do is to dress your dies how you like them. It comes with an extra set of dies, blank, that you can modify however you like. And then the last thing you'll have to do is weld on a hardy shank or stub, whatever size that fits your anvil hardy. Now, if you don't have square stock, solid stock, or pipe in the right dimension, another great way of doing it is you can get angle iron and weld angle iron on here opposing sides from one another, and you can fit just about any type of hardy hole that you may have with angle iron. So that's a quick tip for you, a little handy tip if you've got one of them oddballs out there that you don't have a stock size for. So anyways, yeah, so we'll be giving this away in the next live stream, the next Friday night live stream on the 15th, I believe that is. That's when we'll be drawing for it. And then Jessica, you said to go to the link in the description and over to our website at blacksmithpdfs.com and either get a free download or a paid one. Either way, it gets you entered to win this right here because we have a order number. Like basically we got a PO number that has your address. So this way we can, when you win, we can just send it to you and we don't have to monkey around with trying to say, hey, tag, you're it, like, give me a call. You know, one of those sort of things, we can just send it right out right away, which we like to do. We don't like to hang on to these things very long. We like to get them packaged and out the door. As we usually do a giveaway just about in every live stream, don't we? So, yeah. So let me finish these last little veins here, and then I'm going to start the forge. And while we wait for this to warm up, we're going to do some sticker bundle giveaways, some door prizes for everybody who's stuck with us so far. So let's go back here real quick. I'll finish this. It's about as boring as watching mud grow.
Paul Fontanini, yes, it is open to international viewers. And I didn't mention just yet, I mentioned earlier in the stream, we are also running a sale right now through the end of November on all of our ebooks, and the code for that is fall20. You can use that to get any ebooks or the ebook bundle and get 20% off. And a great one to be getting for this time of year is going to be the Christmas, hand-forged Christmas gifts. We did, for those of you who are new to the channel, last Christmas we did 10 tutorials around hand-forged Christmas gifts and Christmas items, and those are here on the channel. We do have a playlist on those, and we made the accompanying ebook, and that is $10 at our website also, and so you could get that 20% off as well as part of it and start working on your Christmas gifts, because it's going to sneak up on us before you know it.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys were able to hear Jessica clearly. I didn't think about this until just now, but probably while I'm hammering, they're getting double feedback while you're talking and things like that. So hopefully you guys in here, if you can hear okay and we're doing an okay job here, let us know in the comment section. If we're not, let us know in the comment section. You know, there's always going to be things when you go live like this. A lot of the technology here that we're working with, there's lags, there's delays, there's things like that to get set up right, and so we're trying our best to produce the highest quality stream on the internet that we can, and so hopefully that's apparent and it's working out for everybody. So we've got this done. I need to go to doing one last part here. I need to actually spread out this stem bit here. We'll go down to the anvil here. Hopefully you can see. I need to actually peen this out. I need to widen this ever so much because we're going to cup it. So I'll just do that real quick with my cross peen of my hammer. Make sure the anvil's clean. If the anvil's not clean and you got some metal or scale in here, it'll embed itself into the copper, so you don't want that. So there we go. We got that nice and spread out there. That'll work pretty good. We don't want to get too carried away with that because it's real easy to, you know, it's real easy to spread copper too thin too quick. So, all right, that's good enough for that. I will go ahead and put this in the forge.
They can hear me fine, by the way.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna put this in the forge. I'm gonna get this lit real quick. You guys are gonna hear much louder sound. This voice that you guys can't hear right now, that's in the distance. There we go. Hopefully you guys can still hear me okay with the forger running. Now I will have to split my attention somewhat to just make sure I don't burn this over here off camera.
That would be really bad after you put this much work into it. An hour's worth of chisel work.
Yep, it would be pretty bad to burn everything up just at about this stage. So anyways, so let's go ahead and do a random drawing here. Again, this is for the sticker bundle. You guys have seen what that looks like already. There's 4 stickers in the bundle. Sometimes there's 3. Who knows how many we got in there. but you're going to receive one. So Jessica's going to draw a name at random, and we're going to give one of these away.
All right, our first one is GWI Railroad and said, I did not have a problem hearing Jessica.
Awesome. GWI Railroad, thank you, sir. Hope you enjoy your sticker bundle. Get with us, email us at our contact information, your address, so this way we can ship you these here. We appreciate you. Next person. Let's give another one away here. Croc is black for fun. Congratulations. Get with us, and we will get you one sent out, sir.
That's right. You can go over to our page, blacksmithpdfs.com. There's a contact form in the upper right-hand corner, and go ahead and just drop in your info there, and also include your screen name. That way I make sure I line it up with my list I'm writing down here.
Congratulations, by the way. Let's go ahead and pull one more, Jess.
It is from, let's see, Jason Sisk, and he says, do you prefer using copper over steel?
Jason, congratulations. Get with us with your contact info there. And no, I don't particularly prefer copper over steel. It just happens to be what the job was, the ticket for the job. So this is nice and hot. Show you guys that real quick. Now, you could let this sit and anneal. We'll go to the anvil cam, Jess. You could let this sit and cool down, and it will anneal just fine. Hopefully you guys can see that. I wanted to show you that anyhow. See how it's looking different now? See how it's really coming out now that not all the surfaces are the same color and shiny? Hopefully you guys can see that. Again, we'll take it up. I want to take it up one more time to that bright orange color, and I'm going to quench it in some water. But hopefully you can see how much life and expression that gives that leaf by having those differencing in depths versus, grab this, it just being a blank leaf. So hopefully you guys can see that okay, side by side. You can see the difference. You know, it's those little details like that that make the entire difference of the piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick that in the fire, and we're gonna give away one more. Hopefully you guys can hear it okay.
All right, the next one is to Thomas Downing Watchtower, and he reminds everyone to not forget to hit the like button.
That was Thomas Downing Watchtower. Congratulations, sir. I hope you enjoy the sticker bundle. And we'll give one more, Jessica. And remember, hit that like button, share the stream around if you guys are enjoying yourselves.
Let's see here. This one is for Archangel Craftworks and said that was a good contrast on the copper.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Contact us. Send us your info. We'll get you some stickers. Let me pull this out before it burns. I'm going to quench it. And I'm going to bring it down here so hopefully you can see that on camera. So that there's like a brown fall leaf type there. So again, you can see how that changes a little bit. That's with just surface oxidization. So you could really do something with that if that's what you were going for. And that's probably might be the coloration I'm going for after it's all said and done. Of course, I'll highlight the edges so this way you can see the copper, so all the edges will be polished. But that might be the coloration that I go for after all, but we'll see later on. I'll try to include a finished photo of this thing when I get it done on Instagram and maybe possibly on our community tab as well here on YouTube. So that's all done.
Thomas, they are just our shop stickers. So here's one of them. Whoop, there we go, camera. That is one of them, and they all have our logo on them. So yes, go to the contact form on our website, and that's the easiest way to drop us your email, your name, and your username. Roy's over there getting the camera resituated. Some great questions. Paul Fontanini, do we clear coat? Yes, the copperwork does get clear coated unless there's a special request not to. Let's see here. Somebody asked earlier, I'm sorry, I can't find your name at the moment, if Roy forged every day. So yes, Roy is a professional full-time blacksmith, so he forges nearly every day, besides weekends or, well, not standard weekends, but whenever he wants to take some time off on Sunday or, just as family time. And yes, it is cold here today. We're probably sitting at low 30s, 30 degrees.
That we are. So, all right, I'm gonna grab a mallet here real quick. Alrighty, so I'm over here in my green Monagle SWAGE block. This just happens to have the right radius and dies. If you don't have this, you can do it in a wooden stump. It just happens to be easier for me to do this this way. So that's what I'm gonna do with this steel die here. Again, you wanna make sure it's all brushed out and you do not have any sort of scale that's gonna get trapped up underneath there. Because this is a soft surface, it will beat itself right down into it. And trust me, it'll play heck to get that cleaned up. So now we're gonna hold this over here. We wanna make sure that we be very careful of the way that we do this. We're gonna start by curving this portion. You don't wanna hit against the rim here because it will create galling on the back side. So we're gonna do that portion first, and then we're gonna come in here. There we go. We're getting that shaped. And now we're gonna do the back end. Again, watch that you don't get galling here. You don't wanna hit against the rim. If you get against the rim, it's gonna create a ridge along the back side, and that's not what we want. Okay, so there we are. There we have it. We have our shape, our preform shape. Now we can go back over to the anvil and start to shape this out a little bit, the opposite direction. Start giving this a little bit of curve down and stuff over the horn of the anvil. So I'll move the camera around again, and we'll be over at the horn of the anvil.
Aimless Adventure, thank you for the $5 super chat. Let's see, we have a slash sign and a Santa, and says love and prayers for you guys. I'm off to escape from life for a few hours, and I'm not sure if that last thing, it kind of looks like a sandwich at the end, so thank you very much, and we hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much. That was Aimless Adventure? Yes. Thank you, sir, we really do appreciate it. Thank you for the $5 super chat. That really goes a long ways. I don't know if anybody noticed that. Most people have noticed it by now, but all of the people that are in the credits are the people who support our channel and on a regular basis support the streams. And we honor them by putting their names in lights, so to speak, making them famous. So hopefully we're on the main cam. You see me over here? Okay, good. I can never tell, hopefully I wasn't giving you guys a crazy ride, and things like that. But yeah, so those that support us, we put you there on the credit reel to just thank everybody for that. So thank you all so much. And if you guys will excuse me for a second, I think one of the kids have a question.
In the meanwhile, I will try to answer some of your questions and comments. Let's see. Is that a wooden hammer you start to form it with? Yes, it is a wooden mallet. You can also use nylon mallets that you can pick up from like Harbor Freight. And yes, that was a custom made one. I believe it was Alan Schooner, if I remember correctly. Garage Rescue, glad that you're enjoying watching our work. Glad to have you. And let's see, GWI Railroad, thank you for the stickers. They will be a great addition to our shop. And your name's Wayne? Awesome. Yeah, it's always interesting to have a good place to put the stickers so you can kind of have like a collage going on. And Crocus Black, do you have any videos on how to enamel steel cookware? No, we have not done a video on that. You would have to have a kiln in order to do that, and we do not have a kiln. So we haven't really done anything with that yet, but that would be an interesting one.
All right, so now we've got this bowl shaped for the most part, like it's supposed to be. Now we're going to take and give it some form by go ahead and forming out the individual leaf portions themselves. These little, we're going to give it some dimension and flow, and we'll do that at the horn of the anvil. You don't, again, you want to be careful. You want to make sure everything is getting clean, and you do not want to pinch this material anywhere against, say, like the edge of the anvil or anything like that. We will be using another wooden mallet. This one is just shaped like a dual cross peen, basically. It's just a stick of wood that had some bevels cut on it. Nothing serious. Drill a hole and shove a handle through it. It's really not a big deal at all. So you guys can see that a little closer. Let's go to the anvil, Jess. So the first thing I want to do to set this piece up, right, is I'm going to go ahead and curl the front down where I want it. We'll start giving that the shape that I would like it to be. I want it to really point down the opposite direction. And then I'm going to go ahead and work out the other ends as well. Now, you don't want them all to come down to the same dimension. You don't want to roll them all down to the same degree. You want some of them to stick up. You want some of them to go down. You want some of them to twist a little bit. So like in that one, I've twisted it this way. I didn't take the whole thing over. That's going to give it a lot more shape and dimension and character. And that's what we're after. We're wanting this to have a lot of character. And the other one we're going to do as well. Again, this is all into making this look natural as we can. I'm going to give it a little bit of back curl on that one. There we go. And now we're starting to shape this up. Hopefully we're in shot. Yeah, you're good. Now we're starting to give this thing some real dimension, which is going to work out great for us. And the client. I think the client's going to like this pretty well. Good friends of ours. Again, think about how you find these in the wild. They're usually pretty crinkly when they've fallen off the leaves. So there's a lot of dimension to leaves at that point in time. Go and do that. And then this one here, we're going to take it that way. Put some shape over the horn. It's going to work good there. Then I'm going to start giving that up. So this is really where you can let the artist in you shine. Yeah, we're going to give it some just different dimension. We're creating those differences in height. And this is really starting to show itself. It's starting to really look pretty, I think. So this one, I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to take and tuck it way down. And then I'm going to tuck it over. Back up the opposite direction. I'll take that one back up a little bit more. And if you don't like something, and it's already shaped and you don't like it, how it turned out, just heat this whole thing back up, quench it again, and start over. It's really not hard. It's not rocket science. It just takes a little bit of time to do it the way you want it. But just take your time and make it happen. Hardest part that I find a lot of times is just getting the just getting it to behave the way I want it to and not unfold. Okay, that's going to work pretty good, I think. Just give that a little bit of a... Don't use a nice mallet on this process either, because it's going to just get ate up. So you might want to think about getting you one. Now this might be a cause for a ball swedge to get that cup out of the center of there. I might work at getting that done. Let me scoot over. I won't cross. This is bad show, but bear with me. Whew. All right, got that out of it. Sorry, I had to step over the camera there for a second. You want to support your work. You want to support the bottom of your work and then hammer over the rest. So you support it on the anvil, and where it's not touching the anvil, that's where you actually hammer the piece to give it its shape. All right, I think that looks pretty good. What do you think, hon?
Yeah, I like it.
All right, so now this piece, hopefully this hasn't hardened up too much just yet. I'm going to go to the corner of the anvil. I'm going to give it some curvature. This is also where it pays to, you know your anvil, different surfaces and things of that nature. It really helps you on projects like this. So we're going to go to the surface of the anvil, and we'll help curl that around. Get it like that. I might actually have to come back in here and re-anneal this here in just a second to get that where I want it. It's kind of coming along. I want to put a little more curvature in that, and it's just not quite, I don't have quite the right angle here at the anvil to do it. It's either that or not a sharp enough peen to get that curvature the way I want it. So I may end up waiting to do the rest of that until I can, but I kind of want the curvature in there. We'll just go ahead and roll this down, and then go ahead and curl that a little bit more. You want to kind of curl this a little excessive, because as you hammer on it here, you're going to end up, if you're curving it down, it's going to want to unroll on you. So just keep that in mind. There we go. All right, that's looking pretty good. So like I said, I'll have to do a little bit more. And now we just test for the way that it fits. So I might have to come in there and just shape that just a bit to give it a flat. And there you have it. One leaf, one formed leaf dish. So it's got a nice flat spot in it. After I form the stem, I will touch mark the back of it on the underside and then go into my final finish work. Final finish work for this, hopefully you guys can see all that, it's all in shot. Final finish work for this will be, basically I will come in and I'll wire wheel all the surfaces. That'll also give it a bit of a matte texture to it. And then I will patina it, and then I will come in and sand and polish the edges. So this way it gets it, that way you can tell that it's still copper, and then it'll pop. It'll really stand off the table at that. And yeah, so that's basically it. Now, since this is going to be used in food prep and things of that nature, I will probably just lightly coat this in oil and tell them to keep it clean and keep it coated with a little light coating of oil. That way, with it touching food and things of that nature, But hopefully you guys can see how this really played out, how adding those carve marks in there gives it that lapping effect. It creates the illusion of a shadow line. I don't know if they can see this at all. No, they can't. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see how that creates those shadow lines, and it gives this illusion or this effect of that these leaves are lapping over one another. And it makes it look a lot more lifelike and realistic. So I'll make another one exactly like this one. Well, not quite exactly. It'll all have its own curvatures and dimensions and things of that nature. And then it'll look pretty good. But yeah, so that's basically it. That's it for that. I think we can go ahead and come up to the main cam, Jess. Ask everybody what they thought of about that.
Yeah, Tom Carlson asked how coarse is the wire wheel?
It's just like a regular loose wire wheel, so it's pretty fine. It's a fine wheel. If you use something like a knotted wheel on that to clean it up, it'll have a much heavier texture and it will kind of smear a little bit, and you'll probably lose some of your finer details. So use a light wire wheel. That's a great question for that. And again, the shaping difference of these two, I know they can see good enough in the camera on this end. Hopefully they can see it just fine. But like just the difference that a few chisel lines, and some hammer blows can make to a project. And again, you could take this piece here and you could add this to a much larger sculptural piece. So, this could be brazed onto a tree or something, right? Maybe make the leaf a little smaller, but putting in that extra layer of detail, that's what really ups the value that you're putting out there as a blacksmith. Is putting out this type of work versus saying, okay, I'm going to do a figurative tree, and there's a bunch of these blanks that I had cut out, and I'll just braze those onto my tree and call it a day, right? And maybe give it a few chisel cuts. Go the extra mile, try to give it some of that realism. Even if it is still a bit impressionistic, it will really take and set you apart as a smith. It will really elevate your ironwork, just taking that extra little bit of care in those little things that add up to the much bigger picture. So I just want to thank everybody who's donated Super Chat tonight in the live stream. You guys, you absolutely bless Jessica and I. And everybody who has either purchased downloads or went over and got free downloads so far this evening in order to take and win this guillotine tool down here, the scissor SWAGE tool. I really want to say thank you. Thank you for that. I've been thinking all this week, been quite mindful on just how blessed I am to have known such a great community that we have here on YouTube. It just really is. It's mind-blowing to me. The things that I've seen, the people I've hung out with, and just, yeah, we're all different. We all believe in different things, think about different things, but we all have one common goal. We all have one commonality, and and that's around this craft of blacksmithing. And it's such a great uniting force on the internet in a world where everything's just so messed up. It doesn't matter which side of the fence you stand on. It's probably messed up from your side of the fence looking at the other side. And just coming back from like the Good of the Land Fest and hanging out with different creators, and everyone's there to take and actually create something beautiful, create something awesome in this world. And that's a real beautiful thing to see and get to experience. And I feel so fortunate for that. And anyways, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you, sincere thank you to every last one of you. Jessica and I, we really do appreciate it. And all the love, support, comments, and this blacksmith family that I hope if you're new, you will become a part of. And keep up with us and emails us and show us things that you've made and do that and chat and all that good stuff. Again, we thank you. Yep, tag us on Instagram if you're on Instagram, and show us what you made there. I will also do a quick note for people who are just joining us as far as like new subscribers to the channel and this might be your first stream. If it is, let us know in the comment section down below. But I do not do a lot on Facebook. My posts are few and far between, and I don't really comment a lot, and I don't answer a lot of questions or things like that on Facebook. I'm basically Instagram and YouTube only, and the way I answer a lot of questions nowadays is I will do a video format, or coming to one of these and asking your question again and again is a great way of getting it answered here. Also, if you have a question, a super chat is a great way of having that highlight and going up, and it supports the channel. So those type ways. If not, just do a hashtag Roy or something, attention Roy, and just keep doing that if you have a really pertinent question that you want to have answered, and Jessica will eventually see it. There's a lot of people coming in the streams now, which we're super happy about and we're super thankful for, but that also makes it a lot harder to answer questions when the questions are flying by our eyeballs that quick, and she's got to do all these camera transitions and things like that. So bear with us. Somebody had said, I think someone was mentioning in one of the streams that, you know, they didn't get their answer, you know, they didn't get their question answered and things like that. And yeah, we're only human. There's 100 of you to 2 of us. And she's already octopus lady over there, like pressing all sorts of buttons and boop, boop, beep, boop, 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 and making things happen. So give Jessica a round of applause if you could in the comment section as well.
All right. Yes, thank you very much. Also, I want to bring up, there's a super chat here. Toby Joe 57, 500 PHP, which is Philippine pesos. That's about a $10 US equivalent. And he had just commented also, I was going to read off his comment, says, early morning here, since watching since 5 a.m. Now it's 6:35 a.m. Been a great live stream as always. Thanks, Roy and Jessica.
Very welcome. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really do appreciate it. It's how many? What is it in pesos?
500 Philippine pesos.
Philippine pesos? Cool, cool. I'm glad to. It's always interesting to hear the different currencies that come in that trade from super chat. So again, thank you for those Philippine pesos, the 500 of them, 500 big ones of those. Thank you. We do appreciate it. And I always enjoy putting on a good stream for everybody if we can. Sorry we were a little late today, running behind. I was actually making something kind of cool that's going to be in another video. It's these little Nordic, probably can't see them here. I don't know if we can show them to the camera over here. Let's see if I come up here. Hold on, give me a second. I'll adjust it so you guys can see. You're gonna look at the blurry. Look at the blurry. There it is. Hold on a second. We're gonna get you in there. We're gonna get you close. Bam! Look at that action. So I was making these little tongue clips earlier, these Nordic style tongue clips for my tongs around here. I also thought that this might be an interesting thing to do one live stream. Just make up a bunch of tongue clips like this, and if anybody's interested in buying them in the stream, you know, making like 10 of them available or something like that, you know. Just on quick, off cuff. Something ran across my mind. I'm not sure I'm going to do that or not. But anyways, I thought they were pretty slick to have these, the double wolf head tongue clips. There'll be a video on them anyhow coming out here soon. So I got carried away with that. So I apologize for the short stream, for the late delay on that. So anyways, we can go back over.
By the way, let me check here and I'll tell you guys what our numbers are up to. 70 current viewers and 67 likes. So thank you for all of the likes, for everybody who's given us a thumbs up. Appreciate that. Samuel Appleby, welcome to the stream. And the Wonder Boy 420, $5 super chat says, keep up the great work. And Rob Ho, $5. Thanks for being rad, Jess. You are welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the super chats. We appreciate it. Again, that's what makes these streams possible, and you know, we're just thankful for that. And that's what allows us to give away stuff and have door prizes. Again, like Uncle Buck's Forge. You know, as you all know, I don't have sponsors on this channel, people that come to these streams and people who comment on a regular basis and share our videos around. You all are the sponsors of this channel. So having guys like Uncle Buck's Forge, I am friends with Uncle Buck, and he said, hey, I'll give you one of these, scissor swedges. I'll give you one of these. I keep trying to remember what he calls them. I'm just going to keep reverting back to scissor swedges. But he said, he said, give me one so I get one out of the deal and I can make a video on how to put one together, and I get to give one away. So, that type of support, super awesome. I can give it away. One of you out there will get that, and we ship it to you free of charge anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. Whoever wins. And we get to do this. Dana Maggiore, he creates these stickers for us, so this way we can do giveaways of those, and we can offer them on our website as well to help fund the channel. So again, thank you guys so much for that. That's what allows us to be so generous and to take and give these things out. Before we had people supporting us in that way, I just give stuff away anyhow back in the earlier days of the live stream, just because that's who I am. I feel good to give stuff. I like doing that. Makes me feel good, so I'm selfish, is what I'm saying. I'm a selfish person. Because I'm all about my own gratification here, because it makes me feel good to give you stuff. So just take it, all right? Be happy in the comment section. Give me a thumbs down. Give me a thumbs up. Cool your jets. It'll be okay. Let's give away a sticker bundle, Jess. That's what they look like. Do, 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 do.
Right. I landed on Little Mac, who says, hey, Roy and Jess, thanks for always blessing us. Finally able to get in touch. So, hello, God bless y'all.
Awesome. God bless you. Little Mac, I think it was. Yeah. Congratulations. You are a winner of a sticker bundle. You know how it works. Get in touch with us with your address and that sort of stuff, your contact info. So this way we can send you one of these sticker packs. Let's go ahead and draw another one, Jess.
This one is Samuel Appleby. Hello there, Roy and Jessica. I enjoy your videos. And by the way, if you want to be entered, get in the comments real quick and drop a comment.
Samuel Appleby, congratulations, sir. Thank you for supporting our channel. I'm glad you enjoy the content that we produce. Again, you're the winner. Contact us with your information so we can send it to you. Appreciate it. And let's see here, we've got, what, 3 more?
3 more, that's correct.
3 more to give away. And where are we at on the time on the stream, babe?
We are at
6:41. Man, we're doing good, man. I'm way ahead of the game. Aren't you glad I didn't decide to do 2 of these in one evening and have to watch doing 2 leaves in one evening, huh?
Yeah. We'll take a little while.
Yeah. So, all right, let's give another one away.
All right. The next one is, let's see, making sure I didn't draw this one earlier. All right, Derek Stuff, and he said, be good, do good, and thank God.
Amen. Derek Stuff, congratulations, sir. Hope you enjoy the sticker pack. We'll get that shipped out to you as soon as you send us your contact information. Appreciate that. And anybody who needs to send us that, again, you can contact us over at our website. Go over to blacksmithpdfs.com. There's a contact section there. Contact us with your info. That way we can get it to you. Can't ship it to nowhere. I mean, we could, but we'll just get it back. And it's a waste of money. So let's not do that. Get us your address.
All right, our next one is Drayson's Forge. He says, stickers, smiley face.
Drayson's Forge, congratulations, sir. Again, it pays to be in the comment section. I think Drayson's Forge has won a couple times, hasn't he? We're kind of flooding him with stickers, so congratulations, sir. I think we already have your address, but just in case, go ahead and send us again, just for redundancy. Congratulations for stickers. Oh, and I think we have one more, right?
Yes,
boom. See, I'm going to drop it eventually in the dirt, so I better stop throwing it up in the air. I'm not talented like that. One more.
All right, our last one is Bobby Mensinger. Says, I need stickers. Oh, I'm sorry, that didn't go out. Bobby Minsinger says, I need sticker.
Bobby, I'm not even going to pronounce last. I'm going to screw it up. So Bobby, congratulations. See, I can do that. A simple guy like me can do Bobby. Why can't all of you have a name like Bobby? Seriously, simple stuff for Roy. That way I don't get in trouble with the grammar police all the time. Anyways, congratulations. Send us your info. Again, congratulations for the sticker pack. So that'll conclude those. I hope to, now that I'm back in town, I will actually be going out of town again closer to the holiday, right around Thanksgiving. I've got 2 blacksmithing classes, one prior to Thanksgiving, one after Thanksgiving to do. So we're going to be in and out of the shop over the next, couple weeks, basically. Well, I'll be here for the next week or so, anyhow. But then after that, we'll be out again, and then we'll be back again. So hopefully, here soon, we can get to doing this.
Which, speaking of that, there is 2 spots available. The classes are down in the description below. There's 2 of those coming up. One of them is the Copper Bowl class. I'm not sure how many slots are still available, but the contact info is down there, how to get a hold of them. And then I do know that the other class, the Forging Christmas Items class, that one has 2 spots available. So if you want to go to it and you haven't signed up yet, hurry up and do so you don't lose out on your spot.
All right, so she interrupted my train of thought there for a second.
Okay, it's relevant.
I was on a roll. Now I forgot where I was at.
Sorry.
So anyways, I was talking, I think, I was talking about future plans. Future plans for like door prizes, I hope I can start making like some little small thing in the stream and or, several little small things throughout the week. Throw them on the docket to add as, like a little forged gift type thing as we get closer to Christmas. We'll see how that goes and how that plan, falls to the wayside there as we move along. Right now it's easier for me to take and give away like stickers and things of that nature, just because they don't really have my labor into them, and I've been super swamped. Just since you all are here, you guys must be dedicated fans, so thank you guys for being here. I'll give you guys a little bit of update what you can expect on some videos upcoming. The videos that you can expect upcoming from us, we have some that we shot prior to the Good of Land Fest. Then we'll have some that are about the Good of Land Fest, some of the different demonstrations and things that were going on down there in Temple, Texas. We had a great time, so thank you, Justin, for having us out there if he happens to be in the stream here. But anyways, had a great time, so we'll have some videos around that. That'll be a little bit more like vloggy type things. And then I have several hammer orders to take and do. I have claw hammers to make. I have several custom hammer orders that I'm going over the top on and elaborate for some friends of the channel here. So it's going to be great. There's going to be a lot of custom work done on them. So I hope to film some of that process. It probably won't be a tutorial how-to, but I may have a few tutorials around specific processes that I'll be illustrating on these hammers. So I'm hoping to take and have some content around that, but otherwise it'll be kind of like just like a peeking over Roy's shoulder as he works sort of deal. So it's going to be a little interesting, different type of content. Also, I still have a padlock that I'm horribly behind on. I hope to film some of that, the 19th century reproduction padlock that I have on the go as well. And then I also have a large commission that came in, and I will be forging a gate. So it's an entry gate, and we'll see how that takes and pans out in the long run, but it will be in my styling, which is French Baroque. So it'll be a French Baroque style gate with a little bit of twist. So it won't be as ostentatious. That's a big word, huh? It won't be so super elaborate. It will be simplified somewhat, but when we get to that, later in the year to early spring, when I start on that process, that there will be a whole train, a bucket load of videos of you guys following along that and me sharing part of those journeys, doing something a little bit more on the architectural side. We'll see how that goes for YouTube. Usually for YouTube, I keep stuff simple, stuff that I can forge in 20 minutes to an hour. I keep stuff like that for YouTube, and that's what I put out on YouTube. So this will be a big challenge. I'm going to challenge myself to start showing some of my other work, the more elaborate work that I oftentimes am so extremely under a deadline for that I barely get pictures of. So I'm going to try to do better about that and bring people along the journey there. So what's comments, Jess?
By the way, if anybody has questions that they asked earlier and I did not get to it, go ahead and ask again. I was over here chuckling at Curiosity Forge. He said if he ever got stickers, they would have to be scratch and sniff. And then he said they would probably smell like mid-priced cologne and abusing Ben Toombs.
You are a curiosity there, Curiosity Forge. You are a curiosity. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. So,
Mr. Coffee, glad that our stickers made it to you. We sent those out just before we went down to Texas, so it's good they got there safely.
Awesome, awesome. So, all right. It seems like it's winding down a little bit. Would you say so, Jess? Okay, good. That's fine. We can wind down for the evening. It's definitely cold enough. Jessica is not a snowbird. She does not like snow. Well, I mean, she likes it, but she likes it to be outside while she's cuddled up in a blanket drinking a cup of hot coffee. So that's kind of, or tea, that's her thing, right? So she is freezing over there as much as I am, except probably more because she's sitting down. So we're going to take an in the stream, get going here. But I just want to thank everybody. Again, we'll be giving away, we will be drawing the winner on the 15th. So be sure to check out that stream. Get over to the website if you haven't so done already and get entered to win on that. That's a great thing to take and do. Again, thank you, Uncle Buck, for that. And then also we'll have, I'm going to try to take and have some door prizes in that stream as well. Make it a more epic thing, as I just love getting in the spirit, the holiday spirit of Christmas. That's right. To all you heathens out there that celebrate Halloween, congratulations. It's Roy's time now. Yeah, Christmas. Oh, I've been having arguments. By the way, that's like an inside joke. I've been the guy to like put Santa Claus and snowmen and all that at the beginning of October. And everybody's like, oh, what are you doing? It's too early for Christmas. So anyways, yeah, I'm one of those weird nuts that I could celebrate Christmas all year round. Wouldn't mind. Love it. Anyways, that's it. What?
Let's see. Tom Carlson did have a question. He asked if you could do the same leaf and steel instead.
Tom Carlson, great question. Yes, you could do the same thing in steel instead. The only difference is that it would take you a little longer to do the chased lines, the chisel lines into the leaf. It'd take you a little longer. You can still do it cold. That would still work out fine. In fact, I would suggest that if it's hot, you end up, you know, a lot of times if you mishit or you do something like that, you're in a rush because it's hot. So I suggest laying it out all cold, and then you could deepen stuff while it being hot and then form the leaf. So yeah, it can be done in steel, just with a lot more effort. Copper's pretty soft, malleable, and makes it really nice to work with. All right, that's it. Just wanted to say thank you one more time. Thank you to everybody who showed up. Thank you to everybody who supported the stream. Everyone who's liked, comment, shared, all that jazz, all the YouTube-y jazz that you see. Again, thank you all so much for being here. And we will catch you all on the next one, huh?
That's right.
Yep. All right. Well, God bless you all. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.